Joe, big fight this Saturday, live and exclusive only on talkSPORT against Zhilei Zhang. Tell us a little bit about Zhilei Zhang.
Zhilei Zhang, I've just heard from yourself that he was actually in London and went out to the quarterfinals against Joshua, but also he won the silver in Beijing 2008. That was the same year as Chunky, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. He's a tough guy, big guy. I mean, look, let's go back to on Joshua's undercard actually against Alexander Usyk back in last August. He boxed Filip Hrgovic. A lot of people felt he won that fight. Hrgovic comes with a big reputation. Did you watch that fight?
Yeah, I watched that fight and I thought Zhang did good. He knocked him down early and got back up, but then it was I think he could have got. I think he put everything in there, and I thought he could have got the decision, but he didn't.
I mean, you're known for your engine. The juggernaut just keeps going like a wrecking machine, and you get stronger as fights go on. What we learned from the Hrgovic fight was actually Zhilei Zhang, who started very well, very heavy-handed, dangerous early on. As the fight wore on, he seemed to tire a little bit. Do you think that's where your strengths will come into play?
Yeah, because I won't be tiring, I'll be piling on the pressure. But yeah, them first couple of rounds are going to be risky because Zhilei Zhang's got a big right hand and a left hand, so we're going to have to watch out for that.
He has. He's a dangerous guy with those left hooks and those straight right hands through the middle as well.
Yeah, so something to watch out for.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Joe, look, I want to go back to, I want to find out a little bit about you actually, talk about a little bit about you. And when you missed your graduation, when you took yourself actually out to China,
oh yeah,
and you used some of your loan money to go out there and train in Kung Fu. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, so I had booked with my last, input of my student loan. I thought I organised a trip to go and train in a Shaolin school in China, and I realised that I booked it and it was a day before my graduation ceremony, so I didn't get to throw the hat up in the air or anything like that.
Right.
At the end of uni, so I had to. But on the other hand, I went out and went to China and stayed there for 2 months in one school and then another month in another school.
How old was you then?
Probably roughly about 25, 26 or
right,
something.
so you was actually boxing then as well?
I hadn't started, I think I just started at Elsfield I started at Elsfield kind of like midway through I think. Wow. And then it wasn't until I graduated that I went actually back in seriously, had my first fight, which was a southpaw. I didn't know till afterwards because I was just throwing loads of punches.
Right. I mean, what was the reason behind you going out there and doing Kung Fu? Was that something you was interested in before the boxing?
Yeah, so I started martial arts early with karate at the age of like 5 or 6 or something. And then that progressed to like kickboxing, Kung Fu, and then capoeira. And then I thought, like, because I went with a mate of mine to like this martial art expo, and there's like the Shaolin monks there. Like one of the guys had just come back and he'd been there for a year or something like that. He was telling us all about it. So then I then went and booked my plane ticket and went on the website and everything and sorted it out and went there.
Do you feel that helped you with your boxing? So, I mean, you started boxing, I think it was around 22, 23 years of age or whatever, but you progressed very quickly as well, don't you? Do you think that had something to do with you and your boxing?
Yeah, I was an athlete. I was training to be an athlete at the time, so I was already athletic and doing swimming, martial arts, and I thought that it would be better to do some more like bread and butter fighting styles, like boxing. And I knew there was a boxing gym nearby, so I went on my bike, found out online where it was, went there, just started going as a quick keep fit. But then I really caught the bug, and it was like a whole new environment. You can and everything's fun about boxing, even the skipping, the runs are alright, and hitting the bag, hitting the pads, hitting your sparring partners, and the whole learning curve to learn how to box. It takes a while. It takes years of to master. I
mean, you say everything's fun about boxing, but the whole training part of it, yeah. You decided to take it up really late, like I say, 22, 23. What was the first memory of you getting in the ring and actually sparring? Like, they say everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the head. I mean, what was it like for you?
So it's like learning a new thing. You got to think about where your feet are placed. moving on your feet, okay, and then you've got your hands up, you've got to keep your hands up, and then it's like throw a jab, that's how you throw a jab, and then throw a right cross, and then, I don't know, maybe you do like double jab, right hand, and then you realise that when you're sparring, you've also got someone else trying to hit you, as well as thinking about all that. So
absolutely. What was it like when you got that first punch in the head?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts like? So when I was boxing, to give you an idea, like when I was boxing when I was a 7-year-old kid or something like we first time we sparred 7, 8 years of age, so we've done it at a very young age. A lot of the kids, when they get punched, they think, that's not for me, I'm done. What was the first thing that came into your head, like, I'm going to go back? Did you win your first sparring session, by the way?
Nah, I think I got a body shot and like went down. Nah, I'm joking. No, it starts off slowly. You just start with like a block and jab. But I'm a tough guy. I come from rugby. I started rugby when I was 6. So I'm used, and also karate. I started when I was about 5 as well. So I've done all these sports from early, like swimming as well, and boxing was just like when I was doing kickboxing. Actually, that was fun. I went like. That was fun, and I did sparring with that, but that was like more like touch it like taps. Sure. It was more about speed and technique rather than like putting power, like full power in it. But I realised early on in sparring that you can put your full power in your punches, and like it's a different game. Like with the gum shield, you got your head guard and that. Listen,
I mean, you had a very successful amateur career. You eventually won that silver medal in the Rio Olympics 2016. He's won an Olympic medal as well in 2008, silver medal. You know, this is a big fight, isn't it, going in? Do you know what I mean? 2 Olympic silver medalists, and with your position with the WBO, what's going on? We talk about the landscape of the heavyweights at the moment, but there's a lot on the line here for you going into this one, because Zhilei Zhang, for people that don't know, outside, say the casuals, they won't realise he's a dangerous guy, this guy, and you're putting a lot on the line.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, and he showed Hrgovic like by putting him down early and stuff, and Hrgovic is a tough guy. I had a close fight with him in WSB, so he's obviously top. He's a top boxer and a contender for IBF.
Yeah, so, he's the IBF #1, right?
Yeah, so it's a very risky fight, but this is how my journey's been. I started with a 10-rounder against Ian Lewis, and I've picked, with only few fights, I've gone up the rankings, and I'm now a WO interim. Like, I'm just waiting for. Like, I've got the title, but I just need them to step aside and it'll be mine, or like have the fight for it. So it's a great opportunity for Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, let's talk about your last 2 years, your last 4 fights when you beat Daniel Dubois. A fight that maybe you might have even gone in a slight underdog going into that one. I think with
a slight underdog.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Yeah, I know, but you proved everyone totally. What I'm saying is a lot of people thought that Daniel Dubois would actually win that fight because they just felt that he was one that was sort of building up, and the way that you dealt with him, the way that you'd done that, I think people first then went, hold a minute, Joe Joyce is a lot better than we give him credit for. And I'll say like you say, you go Daniel Dubois, Carlos Takam, Christian Hammer. And then last time out against Joseph Parker, you don't mind taking those hard fights, do you? I mean, you go in there and you take on all comers.
Yeah, it's like snakes and ladders. Like, especially that Dubois win was like a big ladder up, and like in people's estimations. And then the Parker one was just that next bit up. Absolutely. It's like a smaller ladder, but then now people are along with the journey and they can see what I'm made of.
I mean, look, you see where Daniel Dubois is going, and they're talking about him boxing Alexander Usyk next. Is that frustrating for you, thinking, hold a minute, I beat him, I'm now the interim champion, and he gets the shot before me? How does that make you feel?
Mate, it's nothing new here. Like, it's like the silver medal could have been the gold. It's like, the list goes on, but this is life, and you have to deal with what you're given, and if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
That's brilliant. So listen, Daniel Dubois goes and beats Alexander Usyk. I mean, it could be a fight that could happen again in a rematch, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be a rematch for well, actually, what happened? Yeah,
because I think
I'll get the WBO anyway. So it would be it'd be great.
What is the roadmap for Joe Joyce like going in? Like, how do you see it yourself? Like, because there's so many moving parts at the moment with this heavyweight division, fights that are falling through the politics of everything.
Yeah, it's like a drama. Like there's all like
it is.
Like when you think that something's happened, oh no, this crops up. Like it's always changing.
A little bit of EastEnders
going on.
Yeah,
you never know what's going on. Yeah, that's what I mean. EastEnders.
Exactly. So where do you see yourself? Where do you see that opening for you? Like what I'm saying is, say Dubois boxes Alexander Usyk next. We don't know what Tyson Fury's doing. They're talking about Tyson Fury boxing maybe Andy Ruiz in the summer. Anthony Joshua, we don't know what's going on with him. He's just pulled out now and says he's not fighting till December. We don't know what's going on there. I mean, where do you fit into all this?
I beat Zhilei Zhang, and then let's make some big fights, man. Like with boxing, you don't really know. It's not clear. Like lots of things can happen. So I'm hopeful, and I just can beat the people in front of me, and then see, you know, my team and my promoter, see if we can get these big fights made. Just
waiting for that opportunity. I mean, there's been rumours talking about this. You know, there might be something going on out in Saudi in December against 4 of the big names like Joshua, Usyk, Fury, Wilder, like semi-finals, finals, winner. Like, do you see yourself fitting in anywhere there?
Yeah, anywhere.
Would you be up for something like that?
I'm up for all of them. All of them names you said. Mate, sign the contract.
Listen, the tournament may be the way forward, mightn't it? Like if you went out there and you had, I don't know, like a series of, like I say, you mentioned 4 heavyweights there. They picked the 4 top heavyweights in the world.
It sounds great, but I don't know if it'll work with heavyweight boxing. Like there's so much money involved, and like, you know, egos and attitudes, and like I want this split, I want that split. So it's like complicated. Like it's just, you know, want to bring it back to the old days, like Mike Tyson says, and just fight it.
That's what I mean. Best fight the best. Like it's a great example. It's a great way to find out who's the modern day era #1 heavyweight, because everyone's got an idea and everyone's got an opinion. No one really knows, because all you guys at the moment, like Joe Joyce has now burst onto the scene. You're going after that Parker fight. You go, hold on a minute, this geezer's like serious. Like you go, and then you look it up and you weigh it up and you look at the styles and I go, actually, Joe Joyce has got a chance at beating any of them because of your style and your relentless pressure. I mean, it puts you right in the mix.
And they're all feeling about, you know, purses and splits and all this, that.
That's not your thing, is it?
Nah, just get in there, have a fight, and then you know, we'll go. The purse goes with it.
Yeah. Well, look, you're 37 years of age now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
no. You had to think about that. Yeah. I'm just double checking. Yeah. You know, do you feel that you've still got time on your side? Because, like I say, if these heavyweight titles are taken up for an amount of time, say if they did do something like that out in Saudi and they've got the top 4 names, all the belts are there, do you feel that you've still got time on your side?
Yeah, I've got at least 3 years till it's like 2 now, but
well, Foreman done a comeback at 45.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so and he came back with a lot more skills, and yeah, he's got heavy hands, and I've got heavy hands, so that's why, you know, people like to compare him and me. But yeah, this I'm here, I'm ready, I'm an all-action fighter, and I'm here to stay. For the time being, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it there, about the politics of boxing and the, you know, the best not wanting to fight the best because of money, etc., etc. Do you feel that you're the most avoided fighter out there at the moment? Because I think it's probably fair to say that you would box pretty much anyone, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it may be avoided fighter, but now I've got something to offer, and it's, hey, like I'm excited to watch, like. I mean, what more to say? Yeah,
listen, you are exciting to watch, and like you say, you know, you've been mentioned with any of the heavyweights out there right now. Let's talk a little bit about AJ. Where do you see his road at the moment? What did you make of the Franklin fight?
Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't. I thought he could have tried to get him out of there, but he seems to have gone backwards. I was expecting to see a demolition job or something happening, but he pushed through the 12 rounds, throwing single shots and stuff. And yeah, I mean, he's trying to rebuild and get back in there. I'd like to see him against Dillian Whyte, because Dillian Whyte as well hasn't been looking too great. So I think both of them together, I think they'll reignite that spark and like have a, you know, get back in there.
Do you feel that he's lost that rawness that was once there, which is probably his main asset? And do you feel that there's been psychological damage after losses to Ruiz and Usyk?
Oh, I don't don't know, man. He's just the way it goes. Like he needs to all analysing Joshua, but I mean he's.
Now the reason I do that is because you box Joshua as an amateur,
Yeah.
and it's a fight now that looks more likely than ever could happen in the very near future.
I think he says he wants it.
Yeah.
But he didn't mention. You notice he didn't mention me after that fight, though, did
he? No, he didn't, mate. He didn't. But listen, one fight that everyone would like to see, which would be a classic, and I've got to talk about this, is Deontay Wilder, possibly the hardest puncher out there, against the guy that's got the hardest chin, without a doubt, Joe Joyce. That's another fight that everyone would like to see.
Yeah, and hopefully I don't get a sore head after it with them big shots. But I'll fight anyone, any of these top names. It's that's what I'm in boxing. It's exciting and it's also lucrative and gives the fans what they want.
Do you feel that you get the respect that you deserve?
I think I'm getting a lot more respect now, definitely for sure.
Is that because of the names now that you're fighting, the recognisable names? Do you think that's important?
Yeah, and beating as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. You get those names, and that obviously the heavyweight boxing, the heavyweight division of boxing is the pinnacle of sport, not just boxing. It is the pinnacle of sport. The heavyweight champion.
It's kind of like that playground. You know when they start shouting fight, 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 and everyone gathers round. That's it. It's like old school. It's classic.
Absolutely.
Boxing.
Let's talk about this fight this Saturday. How does Joe Joyce prepare for this fight going in? Like, what are you expecting?
So I'm expecting, like early on, Zhang to be throwing the big shots, trying to get, because that's his shot to, trying to get me out there early, and that's when he's most dangerous, because as he showed in the Hrgovic fight, he kind of like starts to tire like into later rounds. He really had to push to finish that fight. So, but I'm not looking to go 12 rounds with him. I'm looking to knock him out.
Listen, stylistically, none of you guys are going to take a backward step. Yeah, I feel that it's going to kick off from the opening bell. That's when you obviously got to be most careful, as he has. But we're expecting fireworks early, right?
And that's what we're going to get. So
absolutely.
tune in Saturday night.